Happy New Year.
Right?
Oh,
Wait.
Galley's kicking this shit. Sorry, shouldn't say that.
Oh,
right.
She farted.
Oh! Oh!
Stop! Bro, it stinks.
Oh! Why is that how we're starting this?
Is that like, that has to be the
That's
intro
the
to
intro.
the Happy New Year episode?
Said Happy New Year.
Bro, it smells so bad. Callie, please. That's how she feels about this right now.
Oh my goodness.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Yeah.
Oh my god. 2025.
Crazy.
I'm excited. I'm also scared. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever I go into New Year, I'm like, yeah, New Year, new bit. Like, you know what I mean? And then I get there and I'm like, life is like, bitch.
No, literally. You thought.
No, literally just kicking me. I'm on the ground, fetal position.
Happy Year.
Miss Girl.
Happy Year.
I'm trying to be optimistic. I feel like that's always the idea. Like, I go into the New Year, I'm like, all right, time to lock the fuck in. And I said at the beginning of last year I was gonna, like, do a lot of things, and I didn't end up doing them, but I did other things that I needed to do for myself, I guess.
Yeah, very true. But before we get into that, I feel like we should introduce ourselves.
Oh my god, I was about to start going off.
She's like, I got shit to talk about today.
I got so many things to say. But yeah, my name is Janni.
And I'm Rach.
And this is...
A Young Milf Podcast.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Yeah, New Year. How's everybody feeling?
Yeah, how are we doing? Like, what happened? Was this year okay for you guys?
Right.
I don't know. This year for me was definitely, like, a very reflective time. Part of me feels like it went by so fast, but the other part of me feels like it went by so slow, too.
Yeah.
In, like, certain parts. So, I don't know. A lot of reflecting this year. A lot of stuff that I feel like I need to catch up on.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me, I think, going into the year.
Mommy.
Yes?
Mommy.
Oh.
It's very weird. Like, today, I literally went back in my camera roll and, like, went back to, like, what happened in the beginning of the year. I'm like, damn. Like, that seems like it was 2 years ago. Right. And other shit, I'm like, that literally happened yesterday. I'm confused. I'm like, the other day, and it's, like, 5 months ago. That's my perception of time is awful.
Yeah. I think I've heard that from a lot of people, though, honestly. Like, I think it's just, people say how, like, it's just all one big, like, timeline's all one. That's really how it feels, especially this year. Yeah. But also looking back on other years, too. Because, like, how are we going to 2025? We're going to be 27.
Girl. The way, I can't. That just sent, like, a chill through my body.
I know, that's what I mean.
We're closer to 30 than, like, oh.
I'm scared. That's literally how I feel.
No.
Like, help me. I'm going to be 30. No, not yet.
Right. We're not 30 yet, okay?
But we're almost there.
But we're, like, approaching it, and that's a little nerve-wracking.
It really is. I don't know, but also, people make it nerve-wracking, because, like, society, like, wants you to think, like, by 30, you gotta have everything, you gotta get your shit together. I don't know, you can set that for yourself, but also, like, I've seen, like, on social media, some people say that, like, they're, like, in their mid-30s and still don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. I think I've told you this, and I tell myself this all the time, but, like, your 20s, it's, like, you restarting life over again. So, like, this is your, like, adult childhood. This is literally when you're growing in different ways from your actual, you know, beginning of childhood.
Right.
And so it's like, it's literally like a shift in timelines, honestly. That's what it feels like to me. Mm-hmm. It's not like, you know, learning your ABCs and stuff. It's like learning how your emotions work.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, like, you know, we all went through teenagehood. That was just one big jumble of things. But then it's like, for some reason, people think that, like, oh, once I turn 18, I'm, like, an adult now. No, honey. We're not adults yet at all. Mind you, I'm 26 and I'm still not an adult yet.
Yeah. We say this all the time. We feel like we're 17.
All the time. Because I genuinely do. You know, why not?
Right.
Like, I feel young. I want to stay young, whatever.
Yeah.
But also, it's like that part of me has never left. And I think that's what I mean by that. Like, she's still... I'm still that 17-year-old girl
no, literally.
that was once running around here and doing whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so now that I'm sitting here, 26, I have a little baby, and doing things with my life. It's like she never left. She's still here, but now obviously I'm just in a different part of my life.
Yeah.
Like on a different part of the timeline.
Yeah, I literally posted on my story today. I was like, am I supposed to mature now? Like,
I saw that. You were like, actually, no.
I don't give a fuck. Life happens as you grow older and you experience a lot of things that do change you or should change you. And I think I like to say that I'm proud of myself, honestly. Just because of like the person I used to be. Like, I literally used to hate myself. Like, everything about me, I hated. I didn't want people to like look at me or perceive me, or I just didn't want to perceive myself. Like, I didn't want to like look in the mirror, like, even especially after having a kid, bro. I think I'm finally, after 4 freaking years of being a mother, like, I'm just who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the one that's put together. I think we talked about that in the last podcast. Like, I'm not the type A mom. I'm not the one that's organized and has everything completely planned out and has a strict schedule and everything like that. Like, no, I'm kind of winging it, and I've honestly learned to appreciate that part of myself because I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm enjoying myself. I'm doing what I want with my life. Like,
you're just gonna let it flow.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, I think I've just really learned to appreciate that part of myself rather than comparing myself to the people who do have it quote unquote all together,
right,
and being like, oh my god, why can't I be them? And it's like, girl, it's actually a blessing to be who you are. And this year has been a huge self-love journey, self-appreciation. Like, I genuinely literally sat down with myself and I was like, this is what's quote unquote wrong with me. I want to fix this. And I literally put effort into it, and it was hard. Like, really having those honest conversations with myself, being like, I want to show up for more people in my life. I want to be more involved with my child. I want to spend more time alone. Like, stuff that I just was avoiding for so many years, like, leading up to this. I was like, no, I'm going to do it now. And I knew it was going to be difficult, and it was difficult. And just learning how to master my mindset. I think that's like the biggest thing that I really did for myself, was learning how to take myself out of dark places and talking to myself like, you're good, like, you're figuring it out, and that's okay, and that doesn't look perfect. Like, that's messy. Like, again, just very proud of myself for doing what I need to do. Obviously, I'm not at the end of this journey. Like, this is a lifelong journey. I don't think people realize that when it comes to self-love, self-appreciation, that is something that you're going to continuously have to do, because there's so many different phases of you that you haven't even met yet. Like, different versions of you that don't exist in this moment. And you're going to meet them along the way, and it's just learning that person over again. And I think once you learn how to learn yourself, I'm saying learn a lot. Once you learn how to do that, it makes those parts of your life easier. And I think that's something that people need to realize, is like, now's the time to do that for yourself, so that your life is quote unquote easier. As life continues, just so many different versions of you that you're gonna have to do the same thing for, and care for, and love, and appreciate, and be patient with. Those are like just the main things that I feel I've learned the most this year, because I've developed really bad anxiety. I've had anxiety attacks that lasted days, where I literally thought I was going to die. I've gotten to the point now where I'm like able to talk myself through it. I used to not be able to. I got to the point where I literally have to talk out loud, as if someone's talking to me. I think that just comes to show that, like, you do have what it takes to care for yourself, even if you don't feel that way. Because I didn't feel that way. I literally thought that I needed somebody. I used to cling on to a relationship, or cling on to a person or something for that safety and for that security. But it never fully fulfilled what I needed. And it took me, like, being alone and actually putting the effort towards helping myself, that I was like, damn, like, I'm actually the person that I was looking for. And that is, like, honestly such an amazing realization, and something that's so beautiful to learn about yourself, is that you do have what it takes, and you are enough, and you are capable. And I think I'm just rambling at this point, but but that's literally, like, the biggest thing that this past year has done for me, is just, I've just shown myself that I am enough, you know?
And I think it's very beautiful for somebody who has, seeing it from an outside perspective, like seeing your journey has been very inspiring. Seeing you, go through things in life that you thought at one point you couldn't get through, and then that you've gotten through, and being you as a whole. And I think it's just been very, like, truly inspiring to see it from this perspective. But I definitely take a lot of inspiration from you, though. I do.
That's so sweet.
No,
I'll cry.
I
will cry.
I'm serious. This girl has helped me through so much stuff over these past couple years, like, truly. And like, because I've always told you, you're so good with your words. You always know what to say. You always know how to help. And even if you feel like you don't, you have. This past year has definitely made me realize that I need to do more for myself, and that I do need to fill my own cup more than I do, because this year was a struggle for me. Actually, in my career, my relationship, with myself as a person, it was just really a big bunch of, like, what am I doing? That was constantly a question that I was asking myself. What am I doing? And leading up to this point right now, one of my biggest goals for next year is to work on myself, for myself, and, like, nobody else. That's a really big thing, because it's always been for something else, if that makes sense. Like, maybe it was, I want to be better for this person, or I want to be better for this job. No, I need to be better for me. And then that in turn, that will make me better in other aspects of my life. Like I said, I think I need a lot of self-care. Even though I try to show myself a lot of self-care, I don't do it as often as I really need to. And this year has taught me that I need to do that, because it's a necessity at this point. Yeah.
Just that alone, this year was a success. Like, even though you didn't maybe, like, get to the point that you wanted to, or did all the things that you wanted to do, the fact that you're able to learn from something, that's, like, that's probably one of the biggest successes, honestly, is learning from what you've done and being able to, again, reflect.
Right. You look so beautiful in this light.
Yeah.
She's like,
You're right.
That's right. Also, motherhood has consumed a lot of me, if I'm being so honest. This past year in particular, she's gone through the terrible twos. When I say terrible, I mean terrible. Honestly. So this year was that, and it really has taken a lot of me, a lot of my energy. And I'm not saying that because I, like, hate being a mother. don't get it twisted. I love my baby to death. But it's a hard job. It's hard work. I'm with her more than I am with her with her father, if that makes sense. I don't know if I worded that right. What am I saying?
I don't know. Re-say it.
I spend a lot more time with her than me and her father do together.
Okay.
Alone. So it really does take a lot of me, and I found myself, like, using it as like, oh, like, I can't do this because I'm with her, or I can't do this because I didn't sleep last night because of her. I feel like there could have been ways that I could have pulled myself through more and given more energy into certain things, rather than just be like, oh no, it's because of my baby, it's because of her, it's because, you know what I mean? Like, and then I tell myself that I'm being lazy, and that I'm not doing enough for myself, and I need a mindset shift when it comes to being a mom, while also doing what I love for myself and working, and that kind of thing. Like, I feel like I need to
find more balance.
Yeah, it has been very hard. Like, it's very hard to find balance when the terrible twos is terrible twoing. I don't know. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah. But you're doing one of the hardest jobs that fucking exists in the world. And, like,
right.
Even I can't even fully relate, because I don't have Romeo full time. Callie's always here with you. On occasions, she does go somewhere else to her other grandmother's house, and you do have that time, but it's not even, like, a long time.
It's like overnight.
Yeah, like, it's not a couple
Usually
days.
I take that night to sleep, and I'm being so serious.
As you fucking should.
Girl, I will sleep, like, 12 hours.
That's fine. You're catching up.
No, literally, because I need to. My brain needs it. My body needs it. And I feel like as I try to speak on these kind of things, for some reason I have a hard time getting them out, because it's hard for me to release it. And I feel like in order for me to release it, I think I need to, like, accept more, I need to accept the feelings I'm feeling. I need to accept the things that I've gone through. And I feel like once I do that, I'm going to be able to, like, really let that shit go.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's another big thing I think I need to I need to work on. I'm just like listing things that I
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta do this, gotta do this.
Right.
Little checkbox.
That's the thing, like when you talk about things, it gets kind of easier.
Yeah.
And that's why literally I tell everybody that I know, talk to yourself. And I say this, I probably said this in several podcast episodes, but it's so true. And the way how that's been one of the most beneficial things for my growth as a person is just literally talking to myself out loud. I'm not even talking about in my head, out loud to my phone, recording the conversation. Why? Because I like to see my growth. I'm personally someone who likes to see how life moves along and how things that I've literally recorded myself cry and sob over and literally like hyperventilate over, I laugh at them now. Because I'm like, I thought everything was over. I thought that was it. Like, I thought that was my ending. Like, no, there's so much time. And it's crazy, too, because me from those points of time till now, it wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy when you are able to actually, like, listen back and be like, oh my god, it's kind of cringe. Like, it's a little cringy. I'm like, oh, I thought that was it. Like, I thought it was it. Like, I would just be stuck in that. And it's very easy to get stuck in that. But it's also, like, the whole accepting thing, that's the hardest part, I think. Well, one of the hardest parts, because it's, like, one of the first steps, honestly.
Yeah.
But being, like, really honest with yourself is really difficult. Because I think we try really hard to be the person that we want without even fully accepting where we are.
Right.
And so if you don't accept where you are, I feel like you just can't move on to that next step. It's like trying to skip something. It's like, no.
Like you're just putting like a blanket over, like,
yeah.
Like, I'm just going to take care of that
right,
later.
like sweeping shit under the rug.
Yeah.
How people say that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like, no, eventually you're gonna have to clean it out. Like, you're gonna be sneezing.
Get dusty.
Right, you'll be sneezing, your asthma's gonna act up. Like, you know,
Right.
that's just me. I'm asthmatic as fuck. But
like, if my emotions got me all
Right.
flared up.
no, literally. No, but that's actually a thing for me too. I have eczema, and that's a big thing for me is I've realized one of my triggers for my eczema and my flare-ups is like stress and anxiety.
Because didn't you say it's internal?
Bro, yes. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how like your emotions, specifically like the negative ones, will actually like attack your immune system. That's a thing too.
Yeah.
If you're someone who's constantly sick, that's a sign of you needing to be with yourself more, to just approach the things that you've been avoiding.
Right.
Like I said, and we said, you're gonna have to face it head on at some point of your life, and why not do it now while you're young, while you still have the capability of understanding, like, I'm wrong.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing this right. And it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to, like, accept that you're not doing things the way that you should. There's nothing wrong with you. That's how you learn. That's the best way to learn, is by doing shit wrong. By quote unquote failing. You're doing the right thing by failing. You're going to continuously go through the same things over and over and over again until you do something about it. Yeah. And that's just the truth, you know.
That's very true.
Teacher, walk away.
No.
Girl, I'm not going nowhere.
Recording with a toddler just never gets easier, honestly.
Yeah.
Anywho, in the past, every time it would hit like January 1st, it's almost like I would want to reset myself. Like, that used to be a big thing for me. And I feel like that's probably a thing for a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Like, people take that day, New Year's Day, as like your reset. And I feel like that just puts so much pressure on yourself. And so that's what I told myself going into this next year. I'm like, just flow into it. Don't give yourself deadlines. Don't give yourself dates. Just flow into it. And just, you know, don't rush yourself. You can be at your own pace, you know. And I think that's where you really start to feel a lot of the pressure too, from like, you know, social media. Everybody's talking about the new year and like setting new goals and everything, and that's perfectly fine. You can set goals, but I also have seen too that people are like, why wait till January 1st? Why don't you do it right now? Yeah. Does it make a difference?
No, yeah.
You know?
The biggest thing isn't really like goals. I think it's more intentions. Like this year I intend to be more active, and that doesn't mean you have to go to the gym 7 days a week. Right. Like being more active means you go on some walks.
You don't even have to go on a walk. Go to the grocery store.
Right, go to the grocery store. Like get out of the house more.
Yeah, get out of the
grocery store.
Yeah, we love the grocery store. We got a lot of steps in there, baby. Oh my god. Did you feel that?
Yes. Yeah, setting intentions.
Yes.
Intentions more than goals,
Yeah.
because I don't know how many years, bro, I'm like, I'm gonna do all of these things,
Right.
and I set like 30 things for me to do, and it's like, it doesn't have to be that, because in reality, life happens. It is what it is.
Some things happen that are out of your control.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
that's something that is something that you have to consider when you're creating, goals or intentions. Is like, there's a chance that I won't fulfill all of these things, but it's like understanding, like, and knowing, like, what is it that you actually want to do. And if that's self-care, that was the thing I intended for myself at the beginning of this year, and it's crazy because I really went into this year with that shit, and I was forced into it. I do photography and stuff like that. My camera broke. I've had other things happen along the way, like, again, the anxiety attacks and stuff like that, where I literally could not do anything. I couldn't even attempt because, I don't know, my mind wouldn't let me. So I was literally forced into it. And in a way, I literally a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm actually so blessed to have anxiety. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. It's crazy because I was able to, again, talk to myself and understand, like, where the anxiety really came from. And it was honestly a positive thing, which is even more crazier. It was knowing my potential and knowing what I'm capable of and feeling like I wasn't doing it. That had to do with a lot of things in my life. It wasn't just one particular thing. But I was like, wow, I believe in myself so much that I literally put myself into a panic. Because I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm so capable of this. Why can't I do it? And it's like, in a way, it's a blessing because it's like the knowing of, like, I'm that girl. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not living up to that potential of
Right.
being that girl. And it's like, the anxiety is really just me knowing my worth.
Right. That's so true. I feel that completely.
Yeah.
I've had those times too where, I also have very bad anxiety and I have had it for a very long time. But as I've grown up and started to, like, want to get into certain things and, like, want certain things for myself, when I didn't know how to achieve those things or felt like I wasn't getting to those places,
Yeah.
I'd be like, why can't I do this when I know I can do it?
Yeah.
Like, why is this not happening to me when I know it can happen for me? And then it would literally send me into a panic. Like,
Yeah.
and then that would also sometimes, like, push me back rather than forward. Then that's when the overthinking starts. And you start
Doubting.
judging
start
yourself.
Afraid.
Yeah, you feel afraid to even, like, you're like, or like, I know I've had, like, those intrusive thoughts of, like, well, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe because, like, I'm not at this point. Like, I shouldn't be doing it. But, like, deep down, you're like, I know I can. Like, but why can't I get there?
Like, feeling like maybe it's not meant for you.
Right.
Like, I know that feeling's very,
Yeah.
very common. And
Why'd you just boot me? When you really do know your self-worth, and I feel like I've seen this somewhere, but it really will, a lot of the time, cause you to have self-doubt. For some reason, those tie together, because when you know your self-worth, it's almost like you are bound to have your doubts because some things might not happen in your favor where you really want them to. Or you might get rejected a lot. You might have a lot of no's happen. But I think that's just how life works. You're not supposed to get absolutely everything you want. I feel like, there's like a thin line when it comes to that kind of thing. Like, people will always say, like, I want to get whatever I want. And you might, but life has things in store for you that you just don't know yet.
yeah.
You might, not even you might, you will achieve a lot of those things, but you just never know what's bound to happen.
Right. Yeah, I think, Callie, every time I try to speak.
This is so hard because I feel like we have our sentences and
I
then
do.
she just keeps interrupting and then it's just like,
Yeah, I think we just need to kind of normalize, like, life changing your desires, and when you experience things, those things change you. Like, you will never be the person that you were before that event happened or whatever.
you go through certain things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you will never be that person again, and sometimes that alters what you desire in your life. Like, for example, me, like, I never thought I would be shooting music videos and stuff like that. But what's crazy is before I did it, a couple months before, I was like pleading with God. I wrote in my journal, I can find it right now. I was like, I'm working with really creative people. I'm constantly surrounded by people who have great ideas. I'm contributing my ideas. I'm around a lot of music. And I wasn't even touching a camera yet. And it's crazy how things happened in my life. Literally, I went through probably my hardest breakup ever. And this is the whole story of what happened. I literally was on my floor crying, sobbing, a fucking mess. My child's running around me. And I'm literally like not okay. And so I called Keenan, which is Callie's dad and Rachel's boyfriend. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm on the floor curled up in a ball with my pregnancy pillow. And Romeo's like jumping over me thinking he's having the time of his life, and I'm going through it. And he's like, I'm about to go down to the city. Do you want to come? And I was like, well, I have Romeo. And he's like, well, get someone to watch him. So I hit up Romeo's other grandparents. They're like, yeah, I'll watch him. I go down to the city. I get down there. And I'm like, all right, what are we doing? He's like, you're directing. And I was like, I've never directed anything. And he's like, today you're going to start. I literally never turned back.
Right.
And this is a very true and honest story of how, like, something that I was going through that literally was tearing me apart changed my whole life. Changed the trajectory. You know, like, I was going this way and then I went that way.
Right.
And I was going through a really bad heartbreak, and it helped me. Now I'm a firm believer in whatever's meant for you will find you. So if it wasn't in that moment, it was going to find me eventually.
Right.
That's just my kind of testimony to, like, how what we're just talking about is a real thing.
Yeah. I think a lot about that too, though. I actually, before you got here, was thinking a lot about how certain people that I've met in my life, or even just like relationships that I've had in the past, like, or if I didn't make those certain decisions, what would my life look like right now?
Yeah.
You know? It's crazy how, like you said, you can be going one way, then all of a sudden you're going the other way. And just those small decisions in your life, or a point in your life where you decide to pick yourself up out of that deep hole, could completely change the way your life is moving, or the way your path is looking. And I really do think it's like a beautiful thing though too.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
I've had to reflect on this many times because it's still taking me a while to accept that, like, I'm alone, and, like, and I don't know that I want anybody else, to be honest. And I think because of that, it's literally forced me to be alone, which is crazy because it's like, I don't want to be alone, but it's forcing me to do just the same exact thing that I don't want.
Right.
But the way how that has made me the person that I am today, I'm so grateful for it. And it's insane to even say that because I know what it was like in that deep hole that I was in, you know, in that darkness, and now I can laugh at it. That's growth. Like, it's so achievable by anybody.
Right.
Like, whatever you desire, you can achieve. It's just a matter of, like, picking yourself up, of being like, I don't want to feel this way anymore, and not in an unhealthy way. There's a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms for trying to get over something, and honestly, they're not even coping mechanisms. They're a distraction, because at the end of the day, you're still gonna have those issues. You're still gonna go home and lay in your bed and still have the same exact problem that you had last week, if all you're doing is distracting yourself. And I've been that person. I think we talked about it before. I was in back to back relationships since I was 16. I haven't been in a relationship in 2 years. And that is the longest I've been without a relationship since I started dating. And that is insane. Because I never gave myself that time to be alone, to accept myself, to change things that I needed to change, to reflect on those relationships and things that I did wrong. Like, I was just bringing that baggage from one thing to the next thing to the next thing until I found someone I really wanted to be with. And they were like, you're damaged. And I didn't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
I did not want to hear that shit. I was like, no, I'm not. I was so in denial. But again, that conversation of that honest conversation that you need to have with yourself. I mean, obviously my example has to do with relationship, but that's my experience. That could be something completely different for you. That could be family related, work related, friendship related.
Yeah.
You know, you related, like kid related, you know, it could be whatever it is for you. I'm just sharing with you my experience, but it can look like anything for you. And it's just knowing that, again, you are very capable. You are enough, even if you don't feel that way, because it's normal. Like, that doubt, that fear, that's like a part of you, because it's like the brain's way of keeping you safe. Right. Because it doesn't like to be uncomfortable, and to be uncomfortable, that's where you need to be in order to grow.
Yeah.
Like, you have to put yourself in those weird, uncomfortable situations that you don't want to approach, but you just literally have to, because it's the only way out. It's so easy to get stuck in the way that you are and the lifestyle that you have and being like, that's just the way it is, you know? Like, same shit, or what do people say? Same shit, different day?
Yeah.
I hate that saying. Because what the fuck, why?
Yeah.
Like, you're unhappy.
Why?
I feel like as I'm hearing you talk, I'm like, this is everything I need.
Yeah.
Right now, because I really don't take the time to talk to myself or really listen to myself when I do go through something and then I'm like, okay, like I know what I have to do and I don't do it. So I feel like just listening to you and hearing everything that you've helped yourself through, I'm like, I I need to step it up.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't have to be, like, hard on yourself. Like, bro, the self-growth, like, appreciation journey is hard as fuck. Like, if I'm being so honest with you, someone who's genuinely, like, really wanted it for myself,
Yeah.
it's hard. I can tell you, honestly, I used to not be that good of a friend. I used to be kind of mean, very selfish, and, like, these are things people would tell me, and I'd be like, you know what the fuck you're talking about? And I would just, and I would literally just shake it off and be like, it's whatever. But then hearing it from people throughout the years of my life, I was like, I don't want to be that person anymore. And I think I, probably in my journal somewhere, it's like me asking the universe to help me be the person that I wanted to be, which is why I think, like, speaking and writing is so important, because those things have power.
Right.
They have power in your life because those are your beliefs.
They hold a
And
lot of
so,
energy.
yeah, and I didn't know how I would get there at all, but I was just like, I trust myself. And I've actually read through my journal the other day because I did a whole reflection of myself, not even just like the past year, but the past 2 years. I have them written out in my journal. And something that constantly is said throughout the entire thing is like, I'm enough. I trust myself. I trust that the universe is on my side.
Yeah.
And there are points that I'm like, I don't know how to get this. I need help.
Right.
I want to attract this energy. This is stuff I would write down and say out loud constantly. It is written, I don't even know how many times in this journal. And be careful what you wish for. Because it'll happen in the ways, I think we said this before, in ways that you do not expect. And from the experiences that I've been through, I didn't know I was asking for those things.
Right.
But I was. Because I was pleading with the universe, with God, with myself, like, yo, get yourself out of this place, because you're done with this. You're done with this version of you. Again, going back to like how experiences will change you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that will happen. And sometimes it is ass. Like, and I'm not even going to say that it's not, because in that moment it feels ass. When you're able to then reflect later on, you're like, bro, I needed that so bad. Like, this
It
was
made that so bad.
yeah, like sometimes it's the drastic. Sometimes it's like the drastic change in your life or the drastic experiences that you can't avoid.
Yeah, in relation to that, and you know, as far as it goes with me, I think I always catch myself being afraid of what comes next if something were to happen. That's been like a very like reoccurring thing in my life, being like, how am I going to be able to get through this? I often forget all of the things that I've been through in my life already, and then all the things that I have been able to get through, because I think in the past I really never reflected. I really never addressed the feelings that I felt and went over them with myself and sat with myself and have been like, why did I feel this way? What made me feel this way? What can I do to fix it? How can I be better? You know, I kind of always brush things under the rug all the time. And I think that's why I have this reoccurring feeling, these reoccurring emotions as to like, you know, these mini panics of like, what comes next? What am I going to do if this happens? Like, girl, you've been there before.
Right.
Like, I've gotten through very hard things in the past, and I often forget. But it's because of me. It's on me, because I don't do the necessary things to move on for real. You know, like, because like if I were to really sit with myself and go over why something happened, what made me feel this way, what can I do next to be better, then I wouldn't feel this way all the time. You know, it wouldn't always come back. I'd be like, okay, no, I know how to take care of this. Okay, no, I'm not afraid for what comes next. I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to reflect on this year and be more mindful and really listen to myself more and be with myself more. Reflection is definitely something that I want to do as this year ends, because it's something that I've never really sat with myself and done before. Like a deep reflection. Like ask myself the questions and give myself the answers. Like I'm so serious, because I just thought Little Mermaid. When I said that. If I don't answer those questions that I have about myself for myself, who else is gonna do it? I'm the only one who can really answer that. Like when I ask myself, like, why is this happening? Like, why do I feel this way? Like, why am I like this? Nobody else is gonna tell me.
Right.
only I can do that.
Right.
And it's so important, because that's really gonna help me in the future. Like way beyond what I even know right now.
Reflecting is like honestly so important. So important for growth. I actually went and read my journal while they were away. I wanted to read the first page just because, like, again earlier we were talking about, like, what was that word? Fuck. Not goals.
Intentions.
In your intentions. This is the first page of my journal. I started this journal 2022. So it's 2025 now. So the first page says, I want to dedicate this journal to self-growth and self-love. I am deserving of happiness. I am beautiful inside and out. I'm everything that I need to accomplish my goals and dreams. I can do all things. I will be able to see personal growth as I fill the pages of this journal. I'm on the path towards everything I want in life. I move through life with purpose and dedication. I'm so proud of myself. Go me. Do it for you, girlfriend. I love you.
Oh. Can we just talk about, I also end my journal entries with me saying I love you to myself?
Oh, I started signing them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I do
Aw.
something now. Oh, wait. I didn't do it last year. I didn't do it at the beginning of this year. At the top of all of them, I write my name, the date, and the time.
Oh, that's
because
nice.
I met this woman that said to do that, and I was
Really?
like, period. But I always write. This one says I love you, and then I sign my name.
That's cute.
But yeah, that was my intentions with this journal, which is why it's also flowers, because flowers remind me of growth.
Right.
And they also die, and they also come back to life within the seasons, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what my intentions were with this journal. But I wanted to read my first journal entry of 2024, which was last year's. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to stop it at one point. But I said, hey, girl, this is my first journal entry of this year, which means it's been a little bit over a year of journaling. A lot has changed in this time around the sun. New experiences which changed a part of who I am. As I enter a new chapter, I must show my gratitude for life. Living is a gift, and the abilities I hold are God-given, which I am eternally grateful for. At this moment, for some reason, I'm feeling behind, as if I'm trying to hold my head above water, but I feel as though my mind is the anchor weighing me down. I think I say more. Oh, I really want to rid my head of doubt and fear. I'm constantly looking for that relief, but I feel as though I have the answer within me.
Because it's always within us.
Yes.
We're going to answer everything for ourselves.
I want to say I wrote these things down not fully feeling that way. But I knew that I was so capable of it, so I was like, I'm just going to write it down.
that way.
That's very true. I've written stuff in here where in that moment I'm like, my energy is not here right now, but I still feel like I should write it down. And yeah, I mean, since we're reading first journal entries, we might as well. Callie, are you farting still? I started this journal in 2021. It's such a long time ago now, which is so weird.
Yeah.
And my first journal entry actually was when I found out that I was pregnant with Callie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. My journal, like the pages, it has like the months and like the day, and then I always put the year at the top, and then it says subject, and I usually like write what I am thinking in that moment. So for this one, it said subject, and I said chasing what my heart desires. In this one, I said, I've spent too much of my life being afraid to ask or tell people what I want. My entire being has undergone many changes in almost 23 years of my existence, and will continue to do so for its entirety. That being said, I am about to experience a change like no other, becoming a mother. I'm about to bring a new life, a human being, into this world. While I sit and prepare mentally, my body is doing its job of its natural process in protecting and nourishing my growing little angel. I was so into it. All of this beautiful new change is bringing me into a new transition of wanting more for myself. Very true. Not only so I can fulfill my happiness for my child, partner. Wait. Oh, but for my child, partner, and my loved ones around me. See, that was the thing. I'm constantly thinking about somebody
That was
else.
what I was thinking about.
I said I'm ready for a
That's
new
what I was
beginning,
thinking about.
to be genuinely me for the whole world to see. And but I put it to do. I said, seek your true desires. Yeah, because I think in that moment when I found out I was pregnant with Callie, I felt like my life was gonna do a complete like 180. Like I was just gonna be like the whole thing was gonna be like complete shift. But really, it's becoming a mother. I didn't feel that whole like 180 shift. It was more so like, okay, now I'm doing the things I'm doing, but now I have a baby here with me. For a long time, I have felt like, having or bringing a child into the world. What's happening?
Bye, mommy, daddy.
Daddy's not even here.
Am I daddy?
I'm the daddy now.
Bye, dad. Bye, dad.
I think, bringing a child into the world, like people always say, like it's bound to push you further and give you motivation. For a long time, I didn't feel that way, honestly. I had her, and then I was like, okay, I feel like I'm not moving. I just feel more stressed out.
Here.
If I'm being honest, I'm sorry. I have to be so honest.
Here's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, baby. I also felt scared because I had just gotten signed for the first time, and that was something that I was striving for like 2 years, and then I found that I was pregnant 6 months after I got signed. So that was something that I thought that instead of going forward, I was going backward, and I was like, oh no, like this is not the shift that I wanted. But then when I came to accept that, Callie,
Watch your school bus thing.
I'm gonna go to school.
okay, yes,
Go ahead. Get on the bus.
bye.
Not literally.
Close the door.
Jeez.
She tried to sit in the screen to get on the bus.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's not shh.
Right. Yeah, I kind of came to terms with the fact that I'm like, okay, I'm bringing a baby into the world, but I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing right now and see how my life works out. And if I am being honest with myself, I am proud that I continue to do the things that I wanted to do while bringing her into the world. I mean, I started, working again in the industry like 3 months postpartum. I remember I booked like a MAC campaign, and that was like really huge. I think it was definitely those things, like. And then I started traveling to LA for the first time after I had her too. Mm-hmm. So it was definitely those moments in time where I was like, oh wow, okay, I can still do this. I might be stressed out still, but I can still do this. From then to now, I think I'm realizing that I want more for myself within my life. Like I want to just do more things that really truly make me happy. And because for a long time, I kind of turned what was like a hobby, I would say, like a passion into hard workflow. And I kind of got lost in that weird space for a long time. And since this past year has been a very slow year in my work, it's made me realize that I'm like, I've been doing a lot of waiting. And that's made me realize, like, okay, what am I doing that is gonna like make me happy besides my job right now? Like I realized that I wasn't doing much for myself other than waiting for the bookings to roll in, which took a long time this year. And then that's when I was getting into those weird times of like depression, and my anxiety would be really high. Since I'm talking a little bit about my work this past year. I was told that the beauty standard has changed, and it affected me because I used to be a very insecure person. I hated the way my body looked. I hated the way that I looked, and I always felt like I was an outsider because I was a plus size girl. I've dealt a lot with like body dysmorphia, and I've had an eating disorder in the past. So hearing those words made me feel like I wasn't beautiful, And it's crazy to say that, but like it like almost like shoved me back into the things that I went through before, because I never came to terms with those things.
Yeah.
I just pushed them aside. I brushed them off. And it's crazy because if I was in like a different headspace, if I was in like a stronger mindset, hearing that wouldn't have affected me really. I would have just kept doing what I was doing. I would have just kept learning more about myself and learning how to love myself truly. But my journey has been like a whirlwind, or like, you know, if you were to look at it on like a graph, it would be literally like this, like it's completely, and it's crazy because like I'm able to actually look back on that this year, and it made me feel like I was less than I was. And that just had everything to do with me, really. Like, if I'm thinking about it, it's like, okay, fuck the beauty standard. I achieved something that a lot of people told me I wasn't going to be able to. And yeah, that might have been years ago at this point, but I'm still in it. I'm still doing it. That's where I was like, okay, I need to start doing things because I feel like I love myself and I love it. I think I want to bring it back to like that whole, it was the body positive movement, honestly. It became a very big trend back in like 2020, 2021. Over time, people just kind of started shifting backwards, obsessing over body image again, and really like not accepting your body as it was. And it was like, while I was seeing a lot of people shift back into that, I was kind of staying in the same place of like, wait a minute, I thought we were on like this movement. Like, I thought we were out here like changing the game. But then social media just has such a big impact on body women. Oh, I almost said body women. I was going to say on body image and women. It can be toxic. Like I was saying, being told that because of the fact that I wasn't working as often anymore, because the beauty standard had changed, that like hit my inner child for some reason. That hit little chubby 12-year-old me, like crying, staring in the mirror. It really did. I turned back into her in that moment. Because I was like, does this mean I'm not accepted anymore? And I'm like a fucking 26-year-old woman, like a mother. Why is that impacting me so much? Why is it affecting me so much? It shouldn't, because like I love myself, right? Like I've been on this self-love journey for so long, right? Like what happens? And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm really not fully healed from that. I still have a lot of work to do, and I think I also need to start doing other things for myself that make me happy outside of my passion right now, outside of my work. This is my life, my time. Like I want to do things for me now.
Understanding your triggers is understanding your mindset and understanding why it's triggering, you know? Right. And you were just able to explain it, but you're going to be triggered. Like in your life, there are things that are going to trigger you, and it is for a reason, which they suck. Like I know for a fact you did not like feeling that way, but because you felt that way, you're like, I need to change something. Yeah. I need to do something about this because I don't like feeling that way. No. And what's even crazier is like the only difference between you, this version of you that's triggered by something someone says, and the version of you that literally would not give a single fuck what anyone has to say, is time and energy and effort and patience and understanding. And you already have all those things within you, you know? Right. Like it's already embedded into who you are. So it's just like being able to tap into that, into those things that are already existing, you know? It's almost like a video game, you know, when it has like the player that's like blacked out and like you haven't unlocked them yet. Yeah. It doesn't mean it's not a player that you can use. You just have to get through some levels first before you can get to that player and use them in the game. Yup.
Always spilling tea on
No,
here.
Literally. The metaphors is how I live my life.
I actually saw something similar today. This woman was, I think she was like reciting some sort of poetry, but she said something like, you haven't even tasted the plum that has yet to grow next summer. Right. That seed can be planted in the ground, but like you just have to be patient with yourself, love on yourself, water yourself, because you have yet to taste how amazing and delicious that fruit is going to be one day. And I think that was really beautiful too. I really love metaphors.
Me too.
We should write a poem.
I know. We should.
We should. I actually used to write poetry.
I low-key write poems, but in song form.
Yeah, and I think with, you know, you and your music, it really is a great way of getting those feelings out. It really is.
Bro, like I said before, I got into like the video stuff and everything like that, and that was great for a while until the anxiety started kicking my ass, like bad. And the only way I could even process my emotions was making music. And it's not like I'm putting it out. It's not like I'm, well, not yet. It became the thing that helped me, honestly.
Right, that outlet.
Yes.
Yeah.
The healthy outlet, you know.
Yes.
I believe everyone has a healthy outlet. They just have to figure out what it is. And you're going to find things that you think are it, and then they might not work anymore. Like, I used to try to distract myself by editing videos. I literally was thinking about so many other things. I was like, I can't look at the screen. I don't even know what's going on, and I don't really care right now. Something having to do with something I actually give a lot of fucks about. Like, and I was like, I can't do this. I need to do something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having to, like, really sit with my emotion. Not only that, create the imagery to go in with it, like, all that stuff. That was my outlet. And that's what I was able to find within this past year was, like, holy shit, I need this to, like, live in
and
a
I can
way.
hear it in your music. From
Oh my
what
God.
you've shown me. I can hear the feeling and from the words you say and, like, how you say them. You know, you just get to, like, scream and shout it, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just, it really is just the release of energy. And I think that is something I also want to point out is that a lot of us tend to hold on to things because it's safe. And we were like, I just don't know what to do. You do. You just don't want to do it because it's hard. But it's like, do you want to stay where you are, or do you want to do the hard thing and get to the next thing? You know, do you want to be that person that you desire to be? It's not like you can't do it. You're so capable of doing it. But it's like, you got to get out of that place that you feel so comfortable in. It's only going to limit your growth. Like they say, this is another metaphor, a shark only grows as big as its tank. If you're limiting your growth, then you're never gonna be this big ass fucking shark, bitch. You're gonna be in this little ass, like, that's as big as you're gonna be because you're not even allowing yourself to experience what the ocean feels like.
Right. As I mentioned, like, before, like, finding the things that, like, make me happy aside from, like, the work that I do and my passions. I think what I mean by that, now that we spoke on it, is finding the healthy outlets to bring me out of the things that I feel. Whether that be, like, a hobby or, like, I don't even know, because sometimes I'm like, what do I like? I don't know what I like sometimes, and that's a hard thing. And it honestly makes me anxious because you know how many times I've been asked on, like, my self-tapes, my castings, aside from modeling, what do you like to do? And I'm really stuck. So I'm like, what do I, like, wait a minute, I don't think I do. And, like, I always bring up the podcast. I'm like, I podcast with my best friend, and we talk about motherhood and everything and life, and, you know, I always bring that up. But then I'm like, wait a minute, am I doing anything for myself that makes me happy, like, truly happy? And then the other thing that I say is that I'm a mother. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a mother, yes, but
that's not all who you are.
That's what I meant before when I said I felt like this past year it's consumed me, and I've become it, and I'm like, I need to focus on me. Like, I need to start doing things for me. Flowing to this next year, I just want to find the things that truly make me happy and do the things I need to do to truly, truly heal. And, you know, I don't know. I said in the beginning that I'm scared, but I'm actually it's exciting feeling like, I don't know, that there's still so much time to take up and to make space for so many more amazing things that are bound to happen, because there are amazing things that are bound to happen, and there might also be shitty things that are bound to happen, but that's just what life is about. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't know. I know we had talked a lot about the podcast for next year as well. Very exciting things coming this year, though, for this podcast. I'm very excited for our merch coming, and I'm very excited to have a bunch of special guests, because that's going to be, like, a new thing for us.
Yeah. Just a lot of exciting things. And honestly, I think the thing that we're probably most excited for is to talk and interact with more women, more mothers.
Build more community.
Yes, just letting you know that you're not alone. That's, like, the biggest reason of starting this freaking podcast in the first place, is building that community and having women share their truths on our post, or even here with us. Obviously, probably not here, in a different space, but
imagine just, like, 50 of us in here.
You know, if you're local, meeting up, like, just expanding out of what we've done within the past couple years, 2 years at this point, and building that community organically. Like, interacting with people and letting you know, like, hey, we see you, we are you,
Right.
we are one of the same. Like,
Right. I think it's gonna be really cool to start organizing like little meetups. Like we could do like a cute brunch or like a dinner or like
Yeah.
even just like go to the park and do like little crafty things when
Yeah.
the weather's nice. Yeah, especially if you guys are local to us, you know, so we could just all get together and you guys could really like, you know, we could just all be with each other. Like you could bring the babies.
Yeah.
Like it'd just be such a fun time to just talk about things that you want to get off your chest or just bullshit. Shake some ass. I
Right,
don't know.
right.
Like let loose. Like what?
as much as motherhood can be isolating, you are not alone, and that's like the biggest thing we want to get out of this next year is just like you understanding that we see you and we want to be your friend. Like we want to know your kids' names and what they're going through. We follow this one woman whose like story I follow consistently. She has like a chronic illness and like she has 2 or 3 kids, I forget, but seeing her maneuver through motherhood with a chronic illness, you know, like taking her kids to the park and having to sit down because she's about to pass out, like being in hospitals, being at the doctors constantly, still showing up for her kids. Like, girl, I don't know where you are, but shout out to you. And I can't remember her name for the life of me right now, but the other mother that we follow who has 6 kids, she's pregnant right now, and she's always making food for her kids, and people are so rude to her.
Wow.
First of all, I hate seeing the hate comments because people like to judge a mother who's doing her best. She has 6 kids that she's feeding.
And a young mother at that, you know?
And I think she does fucking amazing.
Right.
I don't care that she's yelling at her kids. Her kids need to be yelled at. Because why? Because when she says it nicely, they don't listen.
Right. Yep. I think also documenting that shit and posting it for the world to see is like a bad bitch move, honestly. Because that's just like, I don't give a fuck who's watching. I don't care what you say. I'm still gonna post this shit and I'm just gonna do it because I like to do it and whatever. I feel like we've said this, but fuck the haters always. There's always gonna be people who are gonna judge you for the life you live, for your actions, how you are as a mother. Always. You just gotta keep doing you and keep doing your best and keep doing the stuff that you love to do and keep being a good mom. Eating your butts out. This is so chaotic always.
I know.
And if you are new here right now,
We're
hi.
going.
Hi.
We're so happy to have you. You were so happy to. I'm like, as I'm like pulling her.
Oh,
We're so happy
this
to
is
have you.
This is your real book.
It's a cute book.
Thank you.
What's that?
My journal.
Journal.
Excuse you?
Whew, it's been one of those episodes tonight. Jesus. I don't know which way I'm talking.
Which way?
I'm like over here, over there, down there. I don't know where I'm going. Really barely. I don't even remember what I've said. 2025. It's so weird saying 2025 though, because like what?
Yeah, what the hell?
2025.
I thought I just graduated high school.
I know.
2016 seems so damn far away now. I'm like, bro, it's almost a decade, bitch.
Yes, but I was gonna say 2026. It'll be a decade.
Jesus Christ.
10 years.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to the reunion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
y'all.
girl, I'm not going.
Mommy,
I'm
so
not going either.
good.
Yeah.
What?
I'm lagging. I don't know.
She said, She's loading, guys. She's loading.
Give me a second. I need to. Like, somebody hit restart.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Please. Okay, I want to go back and see what I wrote down for my 2024 thing. Since you did it already.
Okay. How often do you write in your journal?
Not enough. I would say I write in like maybe like honestly like once or twice a month at this point. I said it is officially 2024 and I'm in my 25th year. I'm so grateful to have made it this far for everything in my life. My accomplishments, becoming a mother, my strength, the love that I am building for myself and my relationship with God himself. Ooh. Interesting. I actually remember beginning of 2024 that I wanted to start like building a better relationship with God. And I feel like I didn't do that. I feel like I was just too deep into everything this year.
Yeah.
Into my emotions. And I don't think I reached out to him enough. So that's, I don't know, that hit a nerve there. I don't know, the rest is just me expressing my gratitude. Honestly, I said, may I continue to receive abundance in all areas of my life. I am a light, here's to life. It's a good energy to moving forward with so much love. XOXO. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this year was just honestly rough on me, if I'm being so honest. It really was. I just kind of felt like I kind of got like out of touch with myself. And I don't know, I need to find her again. I feel like I'm getting emotional. I'm sorry.
You're good.
That's
That's allowed. That's part of reflecting. The emotional part of it is so real. It's okay. Something I think within this past year, my lowest points brought me to God. And I don't know if people listening truly believe in God or whatever you believe in, but I've had moments where I literally was like I was like suffocating. I felt like God was the only one that knew me in those moments to hold me. Holding on to things is only going to bring you down. It's going to weigh you down. Releasing it is just lifting it up to God and to the universe and being like, I need your help. Take this weight off my shoulders. And every single time it works. It might take time, but it's just part of the process. You know, reaching your lows is very necessary.
Yeah.
Realizing that you need to change things is very necessary.
Sorry for getting all emotional, but
Girl, why are you apologizing?
I don't know. I'm like I think I'm saying sorry to myself, Loki.
You're allowed to feel those things.
Yeah. I just know that there are a lot of things that I want to change for myself. I don't know. I need to feel uncomfortable again.
I feel like you're fighting for something. I think that's what really started your journey of where you've gotten is like you were fighting to take up space in a place that you deserved.
Yeah.
You know, and now that you've gotten it, you're so used to it. And I think that's probably why this year has looked the way it has for you, because it was like, I'm going to show you everything that needs to be improved, you know, or needs to be worked on. And in a way, that's a huge blessing, because imagine you're 40, 50, 60 years old living the same life and not even realizing that, like, oh, I need to change. And it's like so much time has passed. You have so much time.
Yeah. No, you're right.
There's so much time.
I guess like a battle with myself and like a battle for what I truly want for myself in my life and where I want to be in my life. And there'll be like a week will go by or 2 weeks and I'm like, what have I done? Mm-hmm. Except for be here with my child.
Think of it in the other way too. There's always another side to it. Like, it's a lot.
No, it is.
You are the main caretaker of your child.
Yeah. I don't know why I feel like I never want to say that out loud.
It's the truth. What we talked about before, you have to speak your truths in order to get to the next point.
Being the main caretaker of your child while also being in a full relationship with your child's father is so weird.
I'm sure.
It's crazy because I actually think back to maybe one of our first podcast episodes. Mm-hmm. You had talked about life, co-parenting. Mm-hmm. But then I remember we got to my side of the subject and it was like, what does it feel like parenting like while in a active relationship? And I remember I sat there and I said, it's lonely.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? How am I lonely in an active relationship?
I mean, you take on the role of the stay-at-home mom. And I think a lot of stay-at-home moms definitely feel that way.
Yeah.
It's the few that have, like, the men that come home and then, like, they'll clean and they'll cook and, like, they'll help with the chores and stuff like that. Yeah. But a lot of women are the caretakers. I think those women need themselves the most.
Yeah, we need ourselves the most because at the end of the day, like, we are with ourselves the most, even if it feels like you're not, because you always have that somebody being your child by your side 24/7, when in reality it's like, yes, they're there, but like you still need to be taken care of. You're taking care of this baby, but what about you? And these past almost 3 years I've fallen into that state where sometimes I forget to take care of myself. I really do. I forget to love myself. I forget to nurture myself. And then that's where I find myself asking the questions of like, what am I doing? Like, what do I like to do? Like, why am I not doing more? But it's because I'm not taking care of myself to the fullest potential. Just like you, I've been in relationships back to back since I was 14. Literally just like you. Never gave myself a singular break. I think the break that I had once, it was for 4 months. Literally. I was like 17. All I did in that time was like party and get drunk. Like, literally. I was 17. Like, I wasn't even worried about doing anything for myself back then. Yeah. And, now I'm here in a relationship that we're making 7 years soon, and I'm constantly trying to find more within it. And I think it beats me down because then it's like, okay, my focus is not on me. Like, I keep coming back to this thing where I'm like, why is this not making me happy? This should be making me happy. Like, I guess that just can't be the case because I'm like, no, I'm losing myself in this. Like, I need to pick myself up and do the things that make me happy because he's able to go do that.
Right.
Why can't I do it?
Yeah, I mean, in this episode, we talked obviously a lot about ourselves and our mental health and reflecting and just the realness of what we've experienced within this past year. But our name is a Young MILF podcast, and we're never going to teach you how to parent, but we're going to care for you and your mental health because that is so important. In motherhood, in parenthood, you matter.
Right.
And I don't know who needs to hear this, but you matter a lot. Just because you had a child doesn't mean that your existence was erased.
Right.
You're still here and you have someone that you're taking care of that you're doing a fucking great job doing, even if you don't feel that way. You're capable of everything that you desire, and it might take time and you might, take the wrong quote unquote path, but it'll always lead you back to where you're meant to be.
Right.
And your mental health is just so important.
Right. And just flow into this new year and give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, girl.
Had to throw it in there.
I have to. It was like the perfect fit.
If you're a new mom and you're maneuvering through the beginning of motherhood, live in that. Honestly, I think just embrace it. I know that shit's hard, bro. Hopefully you're able to see through this podcast, through this episode, that growth is something you were so capable of. I'm going to keep saying it because it might not feel that way right now. It might feel like this shit is consuming the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
And that's normal.
Even if you're not a new mom, even if maybe you're on your second baby or third baby, or you're just far into motherhood at this point, we have all this time on our hands right now. Like, who knows what's going to happen?
That's also the beauty in it, is like, there's so much that can happen for you, and there's so much time, and it's not just the next year. It's a lot of pressure to feel like you need to do something. Like, no, you're a fucking mom.
You're a mom and you're human. You're only human.
Before you had a child, you were the child. You're still that child. Take care of that child.
Yeah.
She didn't go nowhere.
I think that also relates to how we said that 17-year-old girl never left.
Yeah, she's still here.
Yep. That little girl's always going to be in you. And you have to take care of her because deep down, you are her. When you have your triggers, that's her. When you have anxiety, the overthinking, like it's within you. It's deep. It's rooted. Like, so I think when you are able to achieve that level of self-love, it really has to go deep within you. I'm excited for the journey that I really want to embark on like true healing, because I always say that I've been on a healing journey, but I just need to get really into that shit.
Yeah.
Gotta dive in there.
My suggestion is journaling. It's easier than talking to yourself. Something I started doing recently is recording TikToks and putting them for only me. And I put the date and the time.
Okay.
And I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. And I only see it. It's only available to my eyes. But it's also something that's not journaling or talking to yourself like a crazy person on the phone.
Right. Yeah. You have always given me that advice. For a long time you have.
Bro, I've been saying it for years.
You always told me to, talk to myself, be with myself, and journal and everything. And I've journaled, but when it comes to like the talking to myself part, I definitely don't do that. I don't know if I brought it up to you before, but I did it like once. It was after I got like pregnant on IUD and that whole situation happened. I had my second abortion and everything, and I was really, really depressed after that. I remember I was driving to New York to like a casting, I think, and I opened my phone and I went on my camera and I still have the video. I started recording. I didn't know what to say at first, and I just started rambling about everything that I was feeling in that moment, everything about the babies that could have been, and everything about the feelings that I was feeling, how guilty I felt, and the weight I felt, and I just rambled. And then I played the video back and I listened to it for another 30 minutes as I was driving, and then I felt that release.
Yeah.
And it felt really good. Like, especially listening back to it, I was like, oh wow, Like,
you're able to understand your emotions and what you're feeling and yourself so much more.
yeah, because I think a lot of the time I find myself like I'm just in my head so much where I don't really give myself time to process a lot. When I actually took that time to talk and to ramble like I did, and I listened back, it was almost like a out of body experience because I'm like, oh, that's really how I'm feeling.
That's
like
you.
That's me right there. You know, like you don't. For me at least, I don't hear just that one feeling. I hear so many different things at once, and I don't have the ability to process certain things in that moment. And so that did help me, and I don't do it a lot, but I think I need to do it often because I felt that release that you talk about, and it helped. 2025, I think, is going to be a lot about rebuilding and finding and or discovering the things that I've been looking for myself, I think.
As you should.
Yeah. What about you?
I think I want to continue that journey. I also just want to push myself more. I think this past year has been very transformative for me. You know, I've been able to appreciate myself in so many ways, and I just think it's now just like applying that into like my career. I think that's really what it is just like, okay, I got myself situated. I can be told no a million times at this point because I know at the end of the day I'm still that bitch. I think a big thing for me is also just being more open.
Yeah.
I think I'm already pretty open. I just want to do it more often. I've said this since I was really young that I think my purpose in life is to inspire other people. That's something that I've known like my whole life and I never understood how or why. I feel as though I go through a lot of experiences, good and bad, to help other people do the same for themselves because I could have gone the opposite way of where I went. I'm very proud of myself and I want other people to be proud of themselves. I want other people to believe in themselves and step into their power because you are powerful and again so capable. And I think I've done so much internal work that now I'm like I want to share that with other people and be me. I think that's the biggest thing. I just want to be myself and do it unapologetically and not give a fuck who's watching and who isn't watching.
Right.
My goal this year is to keep evolving, and if you're someone who's watching who doesn't have like the same goals as us or the same intentions, maybe one thing that you can do more for yourself is just speak up for yourself. Tell people what you need, what you don't like them doing, set boundaries. If they can't respect any of those things, I'm sorry, they are not for you.
Yeah.
That could be friendship, family, boyfriend, girlfriend, a job. I don't know. Anybody who stands in the way between you and your happiness needs to go.
Between you and your self-worth.
They need to go. And if that person in your life is you, then baby girl, baby boy, you got some work to do. So serious.
I don't know. This one I feel like I've been listening a lot more than I've spoken because I'm taking everything in and I'm literally applying it to everything in my life. And I'm so serious. That's why I'm like registering it with my mind. I'm like, I need to do that. I need to do that. Because, baby girl, that person is you. Like, I'm so serious. Like, I'm applying it to myself.
Mommy, Rachel.
Yes, those are the same person. I just hope everyone within this next year is just taking care of themselves, taking it day by day, not putting too much pressure on yourself. You know, spending time with your kids, with your family, with your friends, whoever in your life that you love. Life is short.
Right. Find the things that make you happy.
Try some shit out. Leave the house. Get out the house.
Right.
Get out the house.
Walk around. Do something.
Do something.
Look at the birds.
Breathe some fresh air. You need it.
No, literally. That's one of my things this year is literally walking outside. Because I don't see the sun. And I be pale as fuck. I need the vitamin D.
Oh.
You feel me in other ways too, but it's fine.
At the body.
It's cool. We're deprived.
The body.
It's okay, girlie. I liked reflecting in this episode. I feel like I was like trying not to cry for most of it, but it's okay.
That's that release of energy that you have not let out.
I know. Honestly, I have a feeling like within the next couple days, I'm probably gonna have like a good, nice panic attack and just like let it all out. Like, you know, just girly things.
You gotta talk yourself through it.
Hey, are you calling? Oh, hello?
Hello?
Oh, sorry, I'm playing Roblox. I'm thinking Ryan's still on the phone.
Girl, I heard sniffling.
Right.
I'm like, what happened? I'm about to have a panic attack. I'm over here trying to just talk about panic attack. I'm like, what's happening? We can
I feel
really
like I've been rambling.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I needed it. Honestly, I needed somebody to talk to, and like this was it. I'm gonna cry again.
It's okay.
My eyes are burning.
It's okay to cry.
Yeah, because I feel like I wasn't talking too much this episode, and like, because I was literally genuinely just listening to you.
I was ready for you to interrupt at any moment. I was like, I'm just gonna keep talking.
No, I was fine. I was just like, yeah. Like in my mind, I'm like, yo, yo.
I'm just sharing my experience. It might not be the same for everybody, but I feel like once you go through some shit, like you just kind of know what to expect, and it's fucking rough. It is so rough. Oh my god. But I'm just so proud of myself. Again, that's what we said in the beginning.
Right.
I'm just so proud of myself. I talk to people and stuff like that, but the person that really helped me through everything was myself.
Right. Yeah, and it's always just gonna be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have you forever. Like, people are gonna come in and out of your lives. Your kids are gonna grow up one day and you know, have their own lives to live, and they're not gonna be like mommy's little baby anymore. Like, no,
Right.
like they're creating their own life and their own happiness, and you still have to have your own back at the end of the day. That's like a big thing for me, is like, I'm a mom, yes, but that's not all that I am. I'm Johnny.
That bitch. I don't know. Should we pop the bottle?
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's fucking do it.
We brought champagne.
Champagne. We got that bubbly. You ever seen that video?
Wait, what? No.
He's like that guy, and he's like, I gotta find it.
I feel like I might know what you're talking about.
I got that bubbly.
I got that bubbly.
What?
I got that bubbly. I got it bubbly.
Why did you start yelling?
That's us.
Right.
Pow it up, pow it up.
Hey. Okay. I've never popped the bottle. I don't want to make a mess. That's the other thing.
That's when if you shake it, that's what happens. Don't shake it.
Okay. Please read warning below. There's a warning? I probably ripped that joint off. Oh. Oh. Why did it go up there? Did you see the smoke?
Alright.
That was my first time ever popping a bottle. Yup.
Period. And she's pink.
And she's pink.
Oh, I hear all the fizzes. That sounds so nice. Oh, that's really satisfying.
Wait, I need a little bit more. Okay, that's good. Okay. Cheers to 2025.
Yes.
Oh, she's bubbly.
Mm.
This is pink Moscato. Did you hear that explosion? I popped the bottle.
She thought something happened.
Something did happen. That shit bounced off the ceiling.
I don't know where it went. It's over there somewhere. It was like boom. I can't wait to watch that back.
I know. Well, I hope you guys have a great year. We'll be back.
You'll see us soon.
And consistent.
Consistency is key.
Yes, belt to
Tina's
ass.
here,
Ass.
by the way.
All right. Be sure to follow us on our other social media.
At A Young Milf Podcast.
On Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest,
YouTube.
all
All
the
the
Pinterest.
Right? Why not?
We do have a Pinterest.
Yeah. Why not?
And then follow me on my Instagram at Johnny Netties.
And mine is at Rachel Anastasia. Same with our TikToks, right?
My TikTok is your fave hot milf.
Right.
I think. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening.
Thank you for popping it with us.
Right.
You know,
Hope you're popping it well.
pop, lock, and drop it again.
Right. You're doing it well.
Always.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Love you.
Bye.
You're not hungry. I just gave you rice.
Bro, she ate everything that she possibly could this
She
entire
ate-
time.
she had
Look
a
at the
breakfast-
strawberries.
She just ate more rice.
She had
There's
a
mac and cheese somewhere. There's a
Are those
sandwich.
my crystals?